Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
All right, peace and blessings, family. I got another powerful show for you, a phenomenal sister. So you know how we do it. Let's start the show, and I'll bring in my guests.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, peace and blessings, family. I'm so excited to introduce our next guest, Miss Tinisha Smith. She's a powerful sister. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring her in right now and I have her introduce herself. She has a phenomenal blog, phenomenal podcast. So you know how we do. Let me bring in our guest right now. Sister Tinisha, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm very excited to have you here. First of all, please just introduce yourself to the people. Give them a brief description of your background.
Okay, sure. Well, I am Tinisha Smith. I am a freelance publicist. I'm also a graphic designer. I do a lot of things, honestly. I do branding and marketing for businesses, as well as I have my talk show, Talk with Miss T. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what I do.
We'll talk about your blog, Talk with Miss T, and I know you're doing it with a podcast too. Talk about that and what's that all about.
Okay. So Talk with Miss T actually got started. It would be a year in January. And basically, since I am a publicist, I felt let's take the next step. Let's do something that's different. Most publicists, they just stick to doing that, just being a publicist, managing images and stuff like that. But I wanted to have a platform that was basically free. Free for people to come on and, talk about their business, or if they're artists, maybe they have new music coming. I just wanted something that was informative, that was, something great to talk about with great content. So Talk with Miss T, that's how it basically got started. Really, like I said, I just wanted it to be something that was useful, not something like, all other entertainment, blogs and stuff like that, where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to write about anything. Mine's is more so, again, about that little man or that little company that maybe kind of get that exposure that they need. So that's basically what I do. I do, interviews, just like, I'm sitting here talking to you. We do interviews with pretty much anyone that wants a shot at, people knowing who you are.
Okay. Whoa, that was almost crazy. Now I know podcasts can be a little difficult and blogs can be a little difficult. Where do you get your material from? How is that very stressful, just getting material to provide for your audience?
Yes. It is very stressful only because you want to make sure that the content that you're using or the content that you're providing to the world is good content. A lot of people, they have, the raw uncut content where it's just like, oh, this person got shot or that person got shot. We do talk about those things, but we more so deal with like I said, the businesses, the authors, the artists. We deal with those type of people. So we want more of the positive, not
Right.
the negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So you pretty much providing and keeping us updated, not only in the traumatizing things that's happening in the neighborhoods and the communities, but you give us a little bit of entertainment as well and keep the people uplifted. That's great.
Yes.
Now, I went on your website. You had something phenomenal. For those that don't see, the website is right here, talkwithmisst.com. I went on there and you had something called Miss T's Corner. I thought that was real powerful and interesting. Talk about that a little bit.
So Miss T's Corner is really just my thoughts. It's kind of outside of the box for me. It's just basically whatever I'm thinking about, that's what I write about.
Hmm.
So it could be, like I said, about anything. It could be maybe about what's going on in the world. It could be based off of maybe something that I've seen on Facebook. So it's really just all about my thoughts. So Miss T's Corner is just me talking. It could even be, someone saying, "Hey, I want to talk about this, but I don't know what like how to go about it." So I kind of put it in my words to, help them people out.
So you pretty much expressing a lot of people's issues for them and a lot of things that they have going on or want
Yes.
to talk about. You break it down for them so they can
Right.
come and check that out. Wow, that's definitely amazing. That's
Mhm.
definitely amazing. Now, I know you get into it with a lot of powerful content. You talk about some important issues. I wanted to get your input on a few things. One of the
Okay.
things is the election. And I know we want everybody to vote. I know a lot of your people and your subscribers are asking you, what do you think about the election? So let's put it out there. What do you think about the state of our community and our country right now and with this election going on?
Uh, Honestly, it it's a lot going on. And I say that because it's like, you got Trump who's in office who is just like he really don't know what he's doing. Then you
Mhm.
got Biden who was in office, so he's seen firsthand as far as everything that's going on. And it's just like you got the people that saying, "Oh, I should vote." Then you have some people that, of course, voted early, and then you have those people that are just like, "No," because if we get Trump again, and it's just like it's a lot that goes on with the thought process, I say, of a person. So a lot of times people can be persuaded very easily when it comes to certain things. Like I can sit here all day and talk to you about, this, and that. But if I'm really trying to persuade you, I'm gonna use certain words to really trigger, like, oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
me personally, when it comes to the election, it's like I'm just praying for change. Um, that's my biggest thing. I mean, if Trump does get, reelected, I mean, hopefully something will change in his mindset. If Biden wins, of course, I will hope that, especially for the Black community, that, something definitely changes for that as well. I just want someone that's going to be fair all the way around, not just for, our white counterparts, but for our Black counterparts as well.
Right. Now, I know you get a lot of questions about relationships a little bit. You know, a lot of female bloggers, especially when I have them on or whatever, they're always talking about relationships and stuff like that. Since we deal with like the black community a little bit, just talk about how, the black man, the black woman can just start getting on the same page and just becoming better as a team and things of that nature.
Well, it goes back to, again, we have to change our way of thinking. If we don't change our way of thinking, it's not going to work. So we have to first take into account of who we are, and then we can say, okay, my brother or my sister, let's get on board with some things. I think the biggest thing with us, especially within the Black community, is that when one person is getting ahead, we're so quick
Hmm.
to hate. We're
Yep.
so quick to be like, oh, well, she thinks she's better. No, it's just I'm changing my way of thinking. Like there has been times, honestly, where I have, thought out to, you know, um, befriend people, to help them. And it's like, no, I don't want your help. And I'm just like, okay. But it's like we take our time and our effort outside of our race. And that to me, that just shows the mindset that we have. Again, it's all about the mindset that you have. And like I said, I feel like in order for us to really come together, especially within the Black community, we have to not only change who we are, but we also have to, again, account for what we're doing, what we're seeing, how we're thinking, how we're, dressing, because all those things play a part in who you are.
Facts, facts.
Yeah.
Now, you being a female, I'm
Mhm.
sure a lot of your viewers are females. Um, Talk about yourself a little bit. Talk about some of the things you had to overcome, and just give a message to the females about how they can overcome, the society. Because for a black woman, it's extremely hard to make it. You have to overcome your own brothers, and then you have the haters from other cultures out there. And the black woman that we always talk here is the god. She's the birth of civilization. And
Mhm.
I think that's why she gets so disrespected. But just talk about your journey a little bit, some of the things you had to overcome, and just give a message to at least our young sisters on how they can make it.
Well, I would say when it comes to knowing who you are, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to know who you are first before you can become anything. And growing up, especially for me, I had to overcome a lot. Like I had to overcome, being bullied in high school, and really from the time I was in high school, like I said, I got bullied a lot.
Hmm.
And it was more so because I was a heavy set girl. I can admit that. Um, and it's like people would always make that a thing for me of, oh, you're big, you're not beautiful. And I had to really account for myself, like, no, I have to know who I am. Whether if I'm 500 pounds, whether I'm 200 pounds, whether I'm 100, whatever it is, I have to know who I am first. So right after I got out of high school, I made the decision to, do something about how I looked. Not looking sloppy. I would put it like that because I was. That's how I was. So I would say really just, being open and honest with yourself, being confident in who you are, and being, not insecure, because insecurities can really play a part, especially for our young women, whether you're African American, you're Caucasian, but especially for our Black women, I feel like and I'm going to say some, I'm not going to say all, but I feel like some Black men have put into our minds of what a white woman looks like. That's
Hmm.
what they want, that's what they attract to. So we feel like we're not worthy enough to even be with a man like that. You know what I mean? So we accept anything that's given to us. So instead of us really knowing our worth, we just take whatever. So I would really just say, like I said, confidence is key.
Oh,
Confidence.
that's a powerful statement. I think a
Mhm.
lot of I'm a father of a few girls, four actually, and you want the females to have confidence and go out there with their head up because they're gonna get knocked down a lot and be belittled a lot. And I think the confidence can uplift and build you a long way. How and you mentioned about being heavy set is what I would say, big boned, and which is not naturally a bad thing, especially
Mhm.
as a man and you get older, But just you mentioned that a little bit. Talk about just the struggles because we have that in our community a little bit where we, like you say, we pick and choose what we feel is sociable. I mean, so acceptable in society.
Right.
But black women are naturally thick now. Just talk about that a little bit more as far as the pain you had to endure with that because I thought you touched up on something a lot of people have to deal with being
Mhm.
bullied, especially about their weight.
So I love telling this story. So in high school, every girl's dream is besides getting married is to go to senior prom. And everybody, was getting dates to senior prom, and I'm just like, nobody's not gonna ask me. So I ended up going with my best friend. We're still close friends today. And I remember, getting to prom, and it was like almost like all eyes were on me. Like I had, did my makeup, I had dressed up, I had did everything. And I was still, in that kind of shy, but okay, I'm gonna go anyway phase.
Hmm.
But once I actually got out of high school and I started actually losing the weight, it's like every person that kind of basically shied me away in high school was coming in my face. Oh my God, you look great. Or oh my God, you doing big things. And that right there for me was kind of like the stepping stone that I needed. It
Right.
was kind of like, oh well, you ain't like me in high school. You bullied me in high school, but now you see that I'm doing good and I
Mm-hmm.
done dropped so much weight that it's like you don't got no choice but to really apologize. And that's really honestly when I got out of high school, like I said, I lost, I would say maybe 250 pounds of the weight that I had in high school and still going down. So it's like an amazing thing for me because I'm just like I couldn't have did it by myself.
Right.
So I would really just say, like I said, when it comes to anybody that may have been bullied or is being bullied, love yourself first because there's somebody out there that's gonna love it all. It's somebody that's gonna be like, I love you just the way you are. I want to be with you because of who you are. Sometimes personality it shies away from your physical features.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that was so powerful. I got to give you a quick applause on that. That was powerful. That was powerful. I want to go back into talk with Miss T a little bit because I just think what you're doing is so phenomenal. For everybody that's watching, please hit that like and subscribe button. But more importantly, share this information because people like us, we're just trying to do positive things, not only in the community, but get out some great information, be entertaining at the same time. So on the count of three, hit that subscribe and that share and that like. 1, 2, 3, bam. We want to get our sister out there and promote as much as possible, make her the next big thing. Let's go and talk about some of the things you have upcoming, some of the topics that you may be talking about that viewers may want to check you out in.
Okay. So right now with Talk with Miss T, we are basically rebranding everything. Like I said, our 1 year anniversary is coming up in January 26th to
Oh,
be exact.
congratulations.
Yes, I'm excited. It was a lot of work.
Hmm.
A lot of people, I feel like, especially within this industry, they don't see the behind the scenes of what we really do.
Yes, it's
They
hard.
don't see, the late nights that we have to stay up and, edit content. They don't
Hmm.
see the thousands of emails we have to put out to try to get, people to come on the show. So we'll talk with Miss T. We're going to be working on a lot of things. Getting new, people onto the show. We're actually going to be throwing out a sponsorship package for people that may want to, be sponsors on the show. Doing a lot of advertising, rebranding as far as the marketing content that we're actually adding to the show. So people that may want to participate in that. Of course, we're definitely taking as much content as we can. A lot of the next things that we will be talking about, of course, is businesses that are in the Black community. We're going to kind of be shining a light on them to
Hmm.
kind of give them a spotlight, try to get them out there because that's the one thing that I'm really big on is our Black owned businesses. Like I said, I couldn't have done it without supporters, and I definitely want to help as many people as I can get to where I am.
I want to talk about that. I'm glad you mentioned that because we try to promote black-owned businesses and on Real Truth and Power. Um, and I have a firm belief that that is kind of the one of the main issues that we're failing at. Because if you're a young kid, especially in a struggling, hard neighborhood, hard meaning tough neighborhood, was hard to survive. Um, the only entrepreneurs a lot of these people see are drug dealers. And I think that's why they kind of lean to the drug deal a lot because they're independent, they're on their own, they're living kind of by their own rules. We don't have the guy that's pulling up in a nice Mercedes and you say he owns the grocery store. We don't
Right.
have the guy that owns the apartment buildings like he used to. And on
Mhm.
top of that, we always say is if you're a business owner, especially a black person, 9 out of 10 times you're going to hire the people that look like you that surround you every day. So you're also providing jobs in the community a little bit. Just go into the importance of a black entrepreneur to you a little bit more.
So for me, being a not only a Black entrepreneur, but a Black woman
Hmm.
entrepreneur, I'm gonna focus on that first. You have to work 10 times harder than a Black male entrepreneur. Reason being is because it's still that stereotype of, women can't do everything a man can do. And I definitely live by that of you can do exactly what you can do, if not better. You know what I mean? So in this day and age, I try to tell, especially like, my nieces and nephews, I don't care if you have to sell cookies. Be the best at selling cookies.
That's right.
Be the best at selling lemonade. Do something that you know is going to be positive. Because, like you said, a lot of times, like when I go into my city area of where I live, that's all you see is the drug dealers outside. But you see the kids
Hmm.
around, so they think that that's all that they can do. But it also too starts with who you live with. If you're a young kid and your parents don't care about what you do, it's sad to say, but you shouldn't feel bad when something happens
That's right.
because you allowed them to be in that type of predicament. Like my parents, they're both ministers and pastors, and they've always taught me, no, you gonna do right. I don't have no record. Like, and they taught me certain things that I apply to everyday life now. From the time I was in middle school, I was always in business classes, finding the next trade, finding the next, target market for different things. Why? Because I knew I didn't want to do a 9 to 5 forever. I knew
Right.
that that was my mental state of, okay, business, business, business. So now me and my mom, there's been times we sit on the phone, okay, we gotta work out this for business, or we gotta do this, or how can we, rebrand? So I'm always doing that. So like I said, anything that I can say is all about your mindset. If you don't have that mindset of you want something better, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, that was powerful right there. You flowing today. You flowing today. Before I let you go, I want to hold you up too much longer because I know you provide the juice out on the street a little bit. So I want to just have some fun a little bit and just talk to
Okay.
you. Um, the role models of our young queens out here right now. What's your thoughts on Cardi B? Before you comment, think for a minute. Before you comment, think for a minute. I see she does try. She does try to do some, try to say vote, and she does try to do some things. But then she comes with "There's some whores in this house" video. So what do you think about her? I mean, I know you might have a lot of young viewers that are, that are looking at your image and saying this is a powerful sister, but that's fun too.
Oh, Cardi B. Um, I I honestly think she means well, and this is just my opinion of what I've seen as I've seen her, especially like on Love and Hip Hop and stuff like that. I feel like in certain ways she means well, but I personally, especially when she did the whole thing about voting, I couldn't take that moment seriously only because she doesn't even identify as black.
Right.
She doesn't, show that she's black, whether if she has part black or whatever, but she doesn't even identify as that. So I felt like that moment, in my opinion, was rude because you have someone that is portraying, I used to be a stripper, now I'm talking about this, this, and that in my videos, but you don't even identify as black, but you want the black money. You
Right.
want the black market. You know what I mean? So I felt like in that moment, that's what I feel like in certain areas she means well, but that's not someone that I would, say that should be a role model for kids.
Right.
Um, I mean, now if you're trying to do something like what was in her video, then sure, that's the perfect role model. But if you're trying to be someone that's respectable, that's honest, that people can say I can depend on, not saying that she's not dependable, but it's all about the image. And that's
Hmm.
where being a publicist comes in at. You have to really know when to say, when not to say, how to dress, how not to dress. Even though she can switch it up, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
that's not someone that I said if I had a daughter, I would want to be a role model for her.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the tough part. I think sometimes we come up in a street mentality where I got to get that money and I'm hustling or whatever the case may be, and then you keep that mentality like, sister, you made it. You got to flip up, and hopefully nobody has to go through that same path you went through it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you touched on that. Another quick question.
Yeah.
Are you aware what DL Hughley said about Ice Cube?
I I kept hearing about it, but I'm not really too familiar with it. It was just so much going on with that whole Ice Cube and him working with Trump, and I'm just like, these people.
Hold on. I'm
These
going to play it for you. Hold on, all right? I'm going to play it
people.
for you. Hold on.
It's a fantasy to believe that you can get this administration to do anything. It's you've seen black person after black person after black person after black person ruin themselves on the altar of Trump with nothing in return, and Ice Cube is the latest one. The platinum plan. When I heard it, it was insulting from the gate. Why didn't they have the spinning rims plan? We have a third wave of COVID coming right now, and he's meeting with the dude that gave us 3 Fridays. You can always tell the seriousness and import of the meeting based on who is in there, based on what the topic at hand is. Yes, people are right when they say we have a lot of problems, we need a seat at the table, but we need the right people at the table. We need people from education, from finance, from medicine, from medical, from prison reforms, sociology, people who have done this for a living and not made a couple of banging albums. Let me ask you something. Why is it that you will meet with Ice Cube, but you will not meet with the Congress to get a stimulus plan passed? Why is it you won't meet with Joe Biden in another debate, but you'll meet with Ice Cube? Why is it that you will not meet with the people who are trying to stem the coronavirus, but you'll meet with Ice Cube? And I'll tell you what it is. Out of all these meetings he's had with these black people, why are they always actors, comedians, rappers, and athletes? When you watch the RNC, do you see one ex-president, one governor, one foreign affairs expert? Have you seen them endorse him? You know why? Because they know he's a fool. And do you know why Trump picks the black people he picks? Because they are all entertainers, and that's what he thinks this is. All I have to do is...
I ain't want to play it too much because I actually just did a show on that. But before you comment on that, I want you to comment on that. But how do you think we should react to DL Hughley, because he's a damn comedian? So it's kind of like, you're a comedian, you're disrespecting Ice Cube, saying he has this plan, and you think it's disrespectful. But I'm thinking, like we talked about Cardi B. Cube is actually at least trying to do something. Should he have talked to Trump during the election time? Maybe should have waited, because they're probably going to use him and stuff like that. But we were talking about on my latest show, being on code, and maybe he should have called Ice Cube. Maybe he should have said, before I blast Ice Cube, let me talk to him and let's try to work this out together, because now it's like genocide, black on black crime. You got a guy that's a rapper who now you're saying our rappers are not intelligent enough to go to the forefront and lead. This is a brother. I like Cube. I think he had good intentions. And I like DL too. But now Cube is coming back. Well, you're a comedian. Why should we be listening to you comment on politics? So I know it's deep. But before I let you go, I just wanted you to flow on that a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
That could be something for a show you might want to throw out there too. That was a little tough.
Okay. So honestly, I'm really speechless about that. And the reason why I say I'm speechless is because I remember having just recently a conversation with my dad, and he was basically telling me, that Ice Cube, went and not really met with Trump.
Right.
It was more so of him, having a conversation about, the black community. And that they were basically, going to take some of the key points of what Ice Cube said and put it in their plan for, the black community. More so with Biden, they were like, okay, well, let's just wait till after the election.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I personally feel like, okay, DL, you think that, he should have met with this person or that person. If they wanted to do something about it, they would have stepped up. It doesn't take a mind reader to be like, okay, is he thinking that I should? No, you just step up and say something. So if it takes a rapper to actually come and say, listen, this is what, I've been thinking, for somebody to actually hear him, I applaud Ice Cube for that.
Yeah, I got to give him his props.
Yeah, like I feel like he was in line as far as, making sure that we're heard. Most people aren't trying to do that. And like I tell people, a lot of people are like, well, you voted for Obama. Yeah, I did vote for Obama. Most definitely. Having a black president in office is amazing. But at the same time, Obama had to play ball.
There you
He
go.
he wasn't able to say everything that he wanted to say. So if we can have someone that's actually going to listen, whether if it's coming from a comedian, an actor, an actress, whoever, if he's going to listen, we're going to talk.
That's right.
Biden basically telling us to wait till after the election to talk to him. It's
Exactly.
sad to say that, but I applaud actually for what he did.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot to uncover there because I think he had good intentions. Um, and I think maybe if he had waited till whoever won, he probably thinking we need to hop on this now. You know what I mean? But it's just tough because a lot of people saying a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I think he had good intentions. I don't think he went out there with any malintent or take a bag or anything like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, that was powerful. I want to thank you again. Please just talk about your blog and your podcast and everything that's going on and where they can contact you and get your information.
Awesome. So, if you are looking for any public relations help, I can always assist you. I'm more than welcome to extend my helping hand. That is with the Dream PR Agency on Facebook and Instagram, the Dream PR Agency. If you are someone or you know someone that may want to actually come on the show to talk, whether if it's about movies, whatever it is, that is talkwithmisst.com. You can leave us a little message there. We're also on Instagram and Facebook, Talk with the Miss T. I am a very approachable person. Do not think that you cannot reach out to me. I'm always willing to help. I also do hostings as well. So if you have an event that you would like a host for, send me a message. We'll talk about it and we'll go from there.
Wow, well, this was just a blessing. I want to thank you so much. As you know, we're always trying to promote each other and build each other's
Yes.
platforms up. So, again, everybody just like and share this content. And Sister Tanisha, I want to thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Wow, that was a phenomenal, phenomenal show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Just stay tuned. We got a lot more shows coming up. And we out of here, man. Peace and blessings. Hotep.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.